So, our guest for today, Ms. Aastha Bambole, is a psychology student from Amity University, Mumbai. She loves to dance, paint, and read. She also enjoys football and swimming. She's a big foodie who also happens to practice yoga regularly and religiously, as we can see from her. Asta feels that emotions unite human beings, and she tries to make others value emotions and strengthen themselves. A little bit of hope. That's all we all look for, and she believes she can help people find it. She's always had a soft corner for children and hence was very happy to do this interview with us. So, thank you, Asta, and welcome once again.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure being here.
So, if I started with asking you that if you were to describe yourself in just 3 words, what are the adjectives you'd give yourself?
Okay, I would describe myself as strong, independent, and
Mhm.
helpful.
And
Helpful,
helpful.
yes.
Wonderful. And you have come to view yourself as strong, independent, and helpful. So, who has influenced you to become what you are now?
I think it's the circumstances that I've been through that have made me who I am.
Mhm.
And I strongly believe that our parents, they have their own flaws and strengths. So I think we should always look for everybody's strengths
Mhm.
and learn from them so that we
Mhm.
become a better person.
So, you basically you are responsible for becoming who you are and the circumstances around you.
Yes, yes,
So, if I were to ask you about your childhood, and that's not so far away, so you'll have a lot of memories.
yes.
So, would you say that your childhood was a safe childhood?
Not exactly. There were places where I did feel unsafe. There were
Mhm.
places where it was little, I couldn't be myself in a lot
Mhm.
of places. And I think uh, a lot of it has to do with the society that we live in,
Mhm.
where awareness about certain things is not there as much as it should be.
Mhm.
So I think I wouldn't say that I was always in a safe place,
Mhm.
but yes, most of it for sure. I think it's both physical and emotional
Mhm.
because according to me, a safe space can be with somebody as well, where you are comfortable talking to them, you're comfortable hearing from them, and you know that whatever you say, they're not going to judge you in any way, and
Mhm.
you can have a free flow of thoughts with them. That is one thing.
Absolutely.
And physically, I think where you know that you're not going to be harmed in any way.
Mhm.
So either somebody physically touching you or saying some things to you, being
Yeah.
abusive to you. So
Yeah.
where that is not there, I think that's a safe space. I think equality to me doesn't mean that you see somebody maybe supposing if I take for example my worker, somebody who's working
Mhm.
for me, or
Mhm.
maybe a maid or somebody who is below me, it doesn't mean that I have any rights over them. I
Mhm.
cannot, I can make them work for me, but at the same time, I
Mhm.
need to respect them because they too are a human being.
Mhm.
So, ooch neech dikhana is something I believe we shouldn't do. And equality
Mhm.
comes when you start respecting people and treating them that they are a human, such as yourself. Nobody is
Absolutely.
nobody is higher than you. Nobody is lower to you.
Mhm.
Make sure you give them their I'm not saying to put anybody at a pedestal, but
Mhm.
at the same time, you should know your boundaries as well. Just because somebody is
Absolutely.
working for you, that doesn't mean that you can treat them the way you want to.
Mhm.
So the way we expect other treat us, that is the same way we should treat them. I think it's at a huge amount. Some cases we know because people have put it out, but there are
Yeah.
people who are still there in the household, who are still, telling their children to, not talk about it, or it's
Mhm.
shameful.
Mhm.
So we don't actually know what is the correct number.
Absolutely. So what we know is probably just the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. I think the people who are closer to the child,
Uh-huh.
the closest ones are the ones who usually abuse the child, other than the
Okay.
stranger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it is someone whom the child knows.
Yes, definitely. Whom the child knows, whom he visits at frequently. So it's
Mhm.
someone who's close most of the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
See, I don't think the laws bind us, because if they did, child sexual abuse wouldn't happen at the first place.
True.
So I think people are not scared of the law because there's a lot of corruption that is there. You can easily get away with things which is awful, but it's the truth
Mhm.
that prevails within our society. And
Yeah.
secondly, I think the lack of awareness somewhere is has like taken people to the back seat.
Mhm.
So once, if the awareness is there, I think
Mhm.
people who are doing it, like the abusers, will also think twice before acting upon their thought.
Mhm. So you think there have to be laws, but there has to be awareness created before somebody
Yes,
can approach the law.
yes, yes.
Right. But if somebody was to show a child nude pictures or pornography, would you consider that under child sexual abuse?
Of course, because
And
somewhere
what?
they're making a child feel uncomfortable. The child doesn't know what it is.
Mm,
So if you're showing them all of this, it is definitely an abuse. Because and children may not so this is what so basically trauma, sometimes we forget about it, but the body remembers. Even though we don't
mm,
have the memory of it, somewhere a small touch or any photograph or anything can be a trigger that stays with that person lifelong.
mm,
So these small things that will help the child become stronger, or be they have consciously acquired what is wrong, what is right. I think that will really help.
mm,
If the child is suddenly not talking, not eating as much as they used
mm.
to, staying alone, maybe wearing a lot of clothes on,
Okay.
not feeling protected in a way,
Mm,
or there can be medical issues like vomiting, or maybe fever, body
mm,
ache,
mm,
swelling in the private parts, or something like
mm.
that. So
Okay.
those things that can help us
Mm,
understand. Okay, now coming from a psychology background,
uh-huh.
I would say it is not impossible,
Uh-huh.
but it's a long process.
Mhm,
But yes, the child can recover.
mhm.
I wouldn't say completely recover, but they can manage.
Okay.
They can manage the trauma, if not completely recover, but they will recover because, as I said, children are fast learners. So if you, I think if we tap on the correct thoughts or on the
Mhm,
correct behaviors, they will open up, and it will take time, but they can recover from it for sure.
mhm. But it will take time and it will take help.
Yes, definitely. It is not something that the child or the parents can do alone, because
Mhm,
no matter how educated parents are, or how much they
Mhm.
feel that they can help the child, there are some things which needs to be done professionally.
True.
Yeah, and I think going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist when such things happen is a
Mhm.
must,
Mhm.
because the physical hurt or the
Mhm.
physical wounds can be
Mhm.
recovered easily, but emotional
Mhm.
ones they can't, not so
Absolutely
easily.
correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, for that one, I think she will talk to her brother first
Okay.
and get a clearer idea about what has happened and what
Mhm.
hasn't.
Mhm.
Then I think she will talk to her parents,
Mhm.
and then together they will take an action.
And will
Or
that action be confronting Chachu?
yes, I
Mhm.
hope it is, but like I cannot give 100% guarantee on that.
Mhm. But
Uh, it depends on the family. It depends from where the people are. So if it's a rural area, I don't
Mhm.
think people would directly go and confront.
Mhm.
Well, if it's an urban area where people have awareness and they
Mhm.
know about the laws and
Mhm.
everything, they would
Mhm.
go and they would confront. But like I said, it's not too sure. They should, ideally they should go and report, but in reality we never know what happens. That's why there are a lot of cases which are not
Reported.
reported. It's again, they have to, but I'm saying they should, because we don't know how the people
Absolute.
would, yeah,
Yeah.
how comfortable they would be. uh I think if that's what makes them comfortable, they should.
Mhm.
I think something is better than nothing. So not reporting at all and reporting anonymously is like way better than not reporting at all. So I hope they do,
Mhm.
because in that way, and if they do that, somewhere the child will also be like, yes, I have a strong background. I have people for me who are going to stand with me, and that it was not my fault.
Absolutely.
So there are
So,
times where the child feels that it's their fault or they called for it.
mhm.
So by reporting and by making sure that some legal action is taken against the abuser, it somewhere
Mhm.
strengthens the child internally.
True. True.
So I think the awareness should be, there should be a curriculum or a mechanism or workshops rather in
Mhm.
schools where children are taught about good touch, bad touch. They are given sex education. They are taught about child sexual abuse, what it is, what happens, and what can be done if something happens to them. I
Yeah.
think if we do that regularly, at least once every month or once
Mhm.
in 2 months with children at school,
Mhm.
I think that would make a great impact.
Mhm.
Uh, we can go for physical touch,
Mhm.
which are the appropriate places, which are not appropriate. I
Mhm.
think before we make the elderly aware, I think it's
Mhm.
important to make the child aware, because
Yeah.
children are quick learners
Mhm.
and they know what is right, they know what is wrong, they know what is black, they know what is white. There's no gray area
Absolutely.
as such.
Yeah.
And if they are taught in a very polite and understanding manner, they pick up things very quickly.
Yeah.
So if we start at home by
Mhm.
telling them small things like, for example, good touch, bad touch, giving them
Mhm.
sex education at an early age, I think that is also important. If they can't understand, like go with small steps.
Yeah.
Maybe these are certain body parts which somebody shouldn't touch other than you,
Mhm.
or then telling them that you should not lock the room, at least close the door when you are
Mhm.
changing, and giving them like making them independent. Like from now onward, from this point onwards, you will be taking your own bath. You would be putting on your own clothes. Nobody's going to help you now. If you need help, then you come and talk to us.
Mm.
I think that is important. Also, helping them build boundaries,
Mhm.
telling them to say no, helping them, understand when to say no. What are the situations which they might make them uncomfortable,
Mm.
and what to do during that situations, whom to go and talk to about it.
Mhm.
So I
So,
think that is where the awareness comes. Yes, definitely.
can you say it with me?
Yes, I am Arakshan.
Thank you. So, would you like to do a rapid fire round, Asta? So 2 seconds
Okay.
for one question, and this is just fun time, nothing to do with what we were discussing.
All right, sure.
So, food you would die for,
Biryani.
animal you adore,
Dogs.
and dream destination,
Maldives.
and a perfect day for you,
Spending time with my friends and family.
and rains make you feel.
I don't really like rains, so
I don't like them either.
so
And
yeah.
sexually you are,
Um, I don't know. Like, you mean my physical appearance, or
whatever you feel when that word comes to your mind or comes in front of you. And it's
I
okay
think
if you don't answer it.
I think fire, like
Good.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yes. And your equality for you is,
Keeping boundaries, respecting others' boundaries, and not demeaning them in any way.
and your safe space,
My safe space would be with me.
and your magic wish.
My magic wish.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a tricky one. I think people who are looking for justice find justice.
Wonderful. And do you have any parting words for us?
I am highly inspired by the work you guys do,
Thank
and
you.
somewhere I would love to be a part of it someday, and keep doing what you're doing and keep protecting. Be the Rakshans, that because there are a lot of people who need it.
Definitely. And you are a Rakshin too now.
Yes,
So thank you very much for appreciating our work. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you someday and draw you into the organization in a
sure.
in a net which is so tight that you'll wish that you could cut it out. But
Truly.
let me thank you once again formally for our viewers. This is a
Thank you.
campaign, Asta, that we are doing on behalf of uh, Sakshi in partnership with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. So the
Okay.
Rakshin project is
Yes.
conducted by Sakshi in partnership with this, and it is a campaign where we are trying to build awareness or skill build 18 to 22 years youth. You fall into that too, I
Yes.
think.
Yes. Yes.
So we are addressing NSS volunteers of the college. So if you have an NSS program in your college which will allow us to conduct a webinar, I will definitely do it.
Sure.
And
Sure. I will.
when we,
I will have a look.
yeah, please. Are you an NSS volunteer?
No, I have no idea how it goes about in my college as yet, but I will find it out.
Please do. And if you arrange the for the webinar, we'll be very happy to come and do it in your college. And that is something totally different from what the interview that I took of you. So you will
Okay.
benefit by attending that too.
Sure.
And when we skill build this youth, this group, we are trying to help them recognize, identify, address, de-escalate, report, and resolve sexual violence within the families and communities.
Okay.
And why do we need it? This campaign is necessary because 90% of the abuse takes place within the trusted circles. and
Yes,
still it is severely underreported. So, what can the law do if the crime is not reported?
exactly.
So, we are trying to amplify our voice with your support so that we can give visibility to the fact that child sexual abuse is not reported, what to do when it is not reported, and what is the role of family and the bystanders.
All right.
So, thank you once again.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the session with you.
It was a pleasure.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.